Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today by asking you a question about freedom, like real freedom.
Oh, wow. That is a pretty heavy way to start off.
Yeah, I know, right? Usually when we talk about freedom, we're talking about I don't know, remote work or financial independence.
Or being able to travel whenever you want.
Exactly, travel. But today we are zooming in on something much smaller, something you probably do 3 times a day. We are talking about lunch.
Lunch. Okay, I am intrigued.
Specifically, we are looking at a piece of traditional Moroccan wisdom that claims the kitchen, yes, the room with the fridge and the stove, is actually the headquarters of your personal sovereignty.
I really love this topic. We are looking at a text called The Sovereign Kitchen, The Hidden Price of Free. And we are specifically analyzing the wisdom of the kitchen segment. And just to be clear to everyone listening, this is not a cookbook.
Right. It's definitely not a cookbook.
I mean, sure, it deals with food, but it's really a manifesto on economics and independence. It's just disguised as kitchen advice.
Exactly. And our mission today is to unpack this. Because at the center of this text is a proverb that really challenges our modern obsession with convenience. And honestly, our obsession with getting free stuff.
Which is something we all love.
We really do. When I first read the proverb, I honestly thought it was a little paranoid. But the more I sat with it, the more I realized it's kind of genius.
It's definitely counterintuitive to the way we live now. Do you want to just read it so we can jump in?
Yeah, let's just drop the proverb right here at the top. The translation goes like this. Buy and cook at home and don't eat out even if it's free.
Don't eat out even if it's free. That is the part that really stops people in their tracks.
Right. The first half, buy and cook. Okay, sure, my doctor tells me that. My mom tells me that. But the second half, if someone offers me a free taco, my instinct is not to beware. My instinct is score a free taco.
And that instinct is exactly what we are going to dissect today. Because that instinct to just grab the convenience or grab the freebie is what this text identifies as a trap.
So to really get this, we have a bit of a roadmap for today. We are going to move from the health and safety aspect to the economics, and then finally into a philosophical look at the true cost of free.
Let's start with the foundation then. That first instruction to buy and cook.
Okay, play devil's advocate for a second. Because you and I, and everyone listening, we live in the modern world. I have apps on my phone that can have a hot meal at my door in 20 minutes. It's efficient. Why is the source material so against me ordering takeout?
Well, the text focuses heavily on health and safety right off the bat. But the key takeaway there is really about control.
Control over what, exactly?
Over the entire process. When you order that takeout, you are engaging in a black box transaction. You input money and food comes out, but you have zero visibility into what happens inside the box.
That makes sense. You don't see the kitchen.
Exactly. The text emphasizes ingredient awareness. When you buy and cook at home, your food is consistently healthier and safer simply because you know exactly what ingredients are being used.
Because you bought them yourself.
Right. You know if the vegetables are fresh. You know how much salt or oil is going into the pan. You have total visibility.
The text also mentions handling specifically, doesn't it? It's not just about knowing the ingredients, but knowing how they treated.
Yes. The handling is crucial. In your own kitchen, you wash the produce. You clean the cutting board, you are entirely accountable for the hygiene. But when eating out, there is complete lack of visibility. You are outsourcing the safety of your body to someone else.
Yeah, usually to someone who is under a massive time crunch.
Precisely. They are rushing to get orders out. They aren't treating your meal with the care you would. So that buy and cook rule is really about maintaining strict quality control over what enters your body.
Okay, I can definitely see the health and safety argument.
Yep.
Control the inputs and you control the outcome. But let's transition to the economic factor, because the proverb says buy and cook. And I hear people say all the time that cooking at home is expensive by the time you buy all the ingredients. Grabbing a quick meal at the market just feels more economical sometimes.
It might feel that way, but the source argues it is actually much less economical. It's a false economy.
How so? Because paying $12 for a burger seems cheaper than buying a whole package of beef buns, lettuce, and all the condiments.
It's about resource management. When you buy that $12 burger, you aren't just paying for the ingredients. The actual food cost is a tiny fraction of that price.
Right. You are paying for the restaurant's overhead.
Yes. You are paying for their rent, their electricity, and most importantly, you are paying for the convenience of someone else's labor. You are paying the cook, the server, the delivery driver.
So you are basically renting a whole staff just to feed yourself one meal.
Exactly. The text points out that you save a significant amount of money by managing your own resources. When you buy the raw ingredients and use your own labor to cook them, you keep all that extra value.
And the source frames this as a long-run strategy, right? It's not about saving $2 today.
Correct. It's a long game for your overall financial health. If you habitually pay for the convenience of someone else's labor, you are constantly draining your resources. But if you build the habit of buying and cooking, you are structurally lowering your cost of living.
That is a huge shift in perspective. It turns cooking from a daily chore into an active financial strategy.
And an empowering one.
Okay, so that is the buy and cook foundation. But now we have to shift focus to the most fascinating part of the proverb, the twist.
The twist, and don't eat out even if it's free.
This is the part that goes against every modern instinct. But the source connects this to a very familiar English saying.
Yes, the universal truth that there is no such thing as a free lunch. We say it all the time, but this Moroccan proverb takes it to a whole other level.
To understand this, we need to introduce a specific term from the Moroccan dialect that the source highlights. The word is مسيب.
مسيb, yes. This is a brilliant concept.
Can you define that for us? Because it doesn't just mean zero cost.
Right. It's not just the price tag. مسيب refers to something that is free or available to everyone, but specifically without a clear owner.
Without a clear owner. So what is an example of that?
Think about it like loose resources. If your best friend invites you over and cooks you dinner, that is not مسيب. There is a clear owner, a relationship, and accountability.
Okay, so friendship dinners are safe. That is good to know.
Very safe. But مسيب is the tray of free sandwiches sitting in the back of a conference room, or the promotional snacks handed out on a street corner. It is available to anyone, and nobody is personally standing behind its quality.
So it's anonymous free stuff.
Exactly. And the wisdom behind avoiding مسيب is understanding the hidden cost. Because even if there is no clear owner and no price tag, there is still a cost.
If I'm not paying with money, what am I paying with?
The source asserts that you pay with your health and your future well-being.
Wow. You pay with your future well-being. That is a heavy price for a free conference sandwich.
But it makes sense when you analyze the why. Why is something free and ownerless dangerous? Because it inherently lacks care. It lacks the quality checks and the safety accountability of something you produce yourself or something you explicitly pay for.
Nobody is washing the lettuce carefully for a massive free giveaway.
No, they're cutting corners. The goal of مسيب is usually to get rid of surplus or to market something else to you. The goal is never your nourishment. So when you consume it, you are absorbing all those cut corners into your own body.
That is such a profound way to look at it. If you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. We hear that about social media all the time, but applying it to our physical health is jarring.
It really is. And it smoothly moves the conversation from just food to a much broader life lesson. The source ultimately frames all of this as a call for self-reliance.
Yes, let's dive into that philosophy. Because this proverb isn't just a quirky kitchen rule. It is a framework for how to live.
The core of that framework is personal responsibility. It's about taking absolute responsibility for what goes into your body and, by extension, what goes into your life.
It requires a lot of discipline to live this way.
A tremendous amount. You have to actively resist the temptation of easy options. The market is constantly offering you quick fixes and free handouts.
It's so easy to just swipe an app or grab the free donut in the break room.
But resisting that temptation is how you build sovereignty. You have to look at the act of cooking not as a frustrating chore that takes up your time, but as an investment.
An investment in yourself.
Yes. When you take the time to source good ingredients and prepare them, you are investing in your physical health, your financial stability, and your mental discipline.
It all circles back to the idea we mentioned at the very start of the deep dive. Independence.
By rejecting the free handout, you maintain autonomy over your health and your resources. You aren't dependent on the whims of the market or the questionable safety of anonymous free food.
You are the sovereign of your own kitchen. You rule that domain.
And if you can rule your kitchen, you are well on your way to ruling the rest of your life. It is the ultimate training ground for self-reliance.
So to recap the journey we have been on today, we started with what seemed like a simple traditional cooking tip. Buy and cook, and don't eat out, even if it is free.
And we decoded the first half to show how managing your own food gives you control over your health and keeps your money in your pocket instead of paying for someone else's labor.
Then we hit the twist, the danger of مسيب, the realization that ownerless free food carries a hidden cost that you end up paying for with your well-being.
Which brought us to the overarching philosophy, that true independence requires the discipline to take responsibility for yourself and reject the easy passive options.
The text wraps this all up with a really beautiful final reminder. It says the best meal is the one you make with your own hands.
I think anyone who has ever cooked a great meal from scratch knows exactly how true that statement is.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, we have a call to action for you. The next time you are scrolling through a delivery app or you see a completely free offer, just pause. Take a second and remember the hidden price.
Ask yourself if you are about to consume مسيب.
Exactly. And to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over today, we've talked entirely about how the hidden cost of a free lunch is your physical health. But think about the broader modern world.
There are so many things we consume now.
Right. So if we apply this wisdom outside the kitchen, what are the hidden costs of the other free conveniences in modern life that we just accept without question? Free apps, free entertainment, free shipping. What are we really paying with when we consume the Mesías of the digital age?
That is a question worth taking into the kitchen while you cook dinner tonight.
It really is. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Go build some sovereignty today, and we will catch you next time.